So I saw this NBC kind of article and special and shit. I wanted to talk about it.
Don't play with me. Don't play with me. Don't play with me.
So unless you've been ignoring all the news like I should be doing, kudos to you! Kudos to you preserving your mental health. No, but unless you've literally been ignoring all the news, you will know that this country, I mean, they've always been doing this shit, but now it's really, we're seeing, I feel like we're seeing a kind of resurgence of it, or maybe a united, concerted effort to start banning shit, to start hiding shit, trying to erase their history, but still stand on it. I don't get that shit. That's the thing I don't understand. Like, girl, if you did what you did and you like what you did, just stand on what you did and you're profiting from what you did. Like, so why do you want to hide the shit? And like I said, I feel like a lot of the reasons why these politicians and these older people don't want their kids and shit to be learning about what goes on, racism, all that shit, especially in the past, is because they will see, their kids will see their parents and their grandparents and their great-grandparents in the fucking textbooks harassing black people or harassing black kids who just want to go to school and learn some shit. They will see their grandparents and their great-grandparents in the textbooks. I feel like that's part of the reason. But of course, the other main part of the reason is to uphold the supremacy, the hegemonic powers that this country is built on. Like, that is the entire reason. Revisionist ass history is something that is not new in this country. But I just wanted to focus on certain things that were said, especially in relation to this Texas book ban and shit that's going on. You talk about public libraries, school districts, and all this shit. Like, I wanted to focus on specifically what's going on and some of the language that these people are using and how it's so ironic. Like, it's so ironic. So let's get into it. Just assume that at any point in time when I'm reading, it's coming from NBC. So just, just for your information. Records requests to nearly 100 school districts in the Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, and Austin regions, a small sampling of the state's 1,250 public school systems, revealed 75 formal requests by parents or community members to ban books from libraries during the first 4 months of this school year. In comparison, only one library book challenge was filed at those districts during the same time period a year earlier. Now listen to this. All but a few of the challenges this school year targeted books dealing with racism or sexuality. The majority of them featuring LGBTQ characters. Many of the books under fire are newer titles purchased by school librarians in recent years as part of a nationwide movement to diversify the content available to public school children. Why are we sexualizing our precious children? That's one parent said that. Why are libraries filled with pornography? They said this shit after suggesting that books about LGBTQ relationships are causing children to improperly question their gender identities and sexual orientation. So I'm gonna stop here. It's a lot of fucking reading. So first of all, I think that it's so funny to watch people try and avoid confronting their homophobia. Like they're really trying to dodge that shit. But when you ask them certain sets of questions, you can see exactly where this is coming from, where this rage to start banning books with LGBTQ characters is coming from. I remember the reporter asking one parent or something, asking the parent, do you really expect us to believe it's a coincidence that a majority of the books that y'all want to be banned only focus on LGBTQ characters? Like, the main characters are LGBTQ. So I just think it's funny. Like, every time things like this pop up, I always think about how these people who are having meltdowns at LGBTQ people being represented in libraries, I always wonder, I would love to see them literally self-combust if they had to endure the life of any typical LGBT person in this country. Like, oh my gosh, you grow up in school not seeing yourself in no book, no TV show, no movie, ain't no gays in none of that shit, Of course, the shows that did have some representation, it would be like it would be half a character, one character that pops in and pops out. But it was nothing substantial. It was a few shows. But as far as the entirety of the media industry, it was dominated. It still is. That's the thing. It still is dominated by straight people. So now I'm just like, okay, so what if these people lived in a world where this shit was dominated by gay people? Completely dominated by the LGBTQ community, like they trying to act like it is now when we have no power to ban no books from nobody. Imagine like LGBT people talk about, oh bitch, I want to ban a straight book. I want to ban these straight books. Why are straight people making out in front of my kids? You're gonna make them question shit. Oh my God. Like imagine them living in a world surrounded by only LGBTQ people and media and books and TV. Imagine how they would lose their shit. And what a lot of homophobic people like to do, they like to couple like predator type shit with the overall LGBT community, right? Like they don't, what do the parents say? Why are we sexualizing our precious children? They think that just because you are talking about, like for example, if a book is saying, hey, it's okay for you to have a crush on a guy if you're a guy, and this is school or whatever, or it's just telling the story of somebody gay, whatever, bi, who may be in grade school, who's also experiencing the same type of crushes, and you know what I mean, like passing notes and all that innocent shit, they automatically, a lot of straight people would automatically be like, oh my God, you're talking about sex, you're talking about, it's like, bitch, what are you talking about? We're talking about very natural, normal processes that all kids go through. If they have crushes, if they, you know what I mean, if they go to school specifically to see somebody, like, bitch, they get butterflies, bitch, everybody went through that fucking phase, everybody go through that shit. So they hide their homophobia behind, oh my God, what about the kids? And instead of just saying, hey, I don't see homosexuality, LGBT shit as normal. I don't see that shit as normal. And so therefore, I don't want my kids to be exposed to that shit. Instead of just saying that, they hide behind, oh my gosh, predator, oh my God, you're sexualizing our kids, it's pornography. It's just like, girl, what? Just say what you want to say what you want to say. That shit is not normal to me. Instead of just saying that and being honest with that shit, and like they hiding behind some bullshit, like girl, no. I never understand how seeing gay people represented in TV and books and anything somehow is going to magically turn your kid into a member of the alphabet mafia when, like I said this 10 trillion times and so have other people, when I grew up around basically only straight media and I'm still a flaming homo. Like I just think it's so pathetic when they hide behind that shit. Like just say what you want to say what you actually want to say, instead of saying, oh my God, you're poisoning the minds of our kids by saying that gay people exist, by saying that LGBT people exist, that trans people are humans as well. Like, is that really poisoning your kids? They just are not, you just want them to digest your poison, and you're mad when media goes against that shit. But the thing that we need to make clear is that at the end of the day, they still have the power. They still have the power to come through and say, bitch, we're banning the books. They still have the power to come and say, you bitches ain't talking here. They still have the power. But their fuel comes off of pretending like LGBT people have taken it away, have taken their power away. Like that's how the propaganda continues to thrive. Like, I just don't understand how a minority, especially minority within a minority, has enough power to take anything away from your majority ass. Like, get on my face. Reading further, it says 10 current or recently retired Texas school librarians who spoke to a reporter described growing fears that they could be attacked by parents on social media or threatened with criminal charges. Some said they've quietly removed LGBTQ affirming books from shelves or declined to purchase new ones to avoid public criticism, raising fears about what free speech advocates call a wave of soft censorship in Texas and across the country. So of course, like I'm focusing on Texas because this is what like the special in the article was about, but it is, like they just said, across the country, you're starting to see shit like this pile up. Now, I mean, librarians fearing for their fucking safety and their jobs and shit, like that is a whole, that's crazy. And the crazy thing about this is that doing shit like this will not prevent LGBTQ people from existing. It will not prevent LGBTQ kids from trying to figure themselves out. They're gonna have to hide more and then like pretend and kiss y'all ass and lie to y'all faces more, you know, but it won't prevent, it's not gonna prevent LGBTQ people from popping up on this fucking planet, you know? And so it's just, book bans are book bans, right? But bitch, if we allow this shit to continue, book bans can move further. I mean, it's already in legislation. That's the thing about this kind of shit. It doesn't stop at just the book ban. I just feel really bad for the youth and the kids who like find a safety and solace in this kind of media, only for it to be snatched the fuck up out their hands. Like, especially in 2022. You feel what I'm saying? It's gonna make people feel more ostracized. It's gonna make them feel like shit. It's gonna make them feel like second class, third class motherfucking citizens. Y'all claim to care about the lives of kids, but oftentimes those kids have to fit a specific into a specific demographic for y'all to give a fuck about them. Like, they claim to care about the lives of kids, and at every turn, people are telling them, hey, what you're doing is going to lead to the rise in suicides of these kids. Like, hey, what you're doing is going to lead into more depression, more anxiety, more mental health issues. It's going to lead to more self-hatred. And they just walk around, they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck because it's almost like they're saying you should hate yourselves. You should hate yourself. And like I said, they try to wrap it up in this propaganda. They try to wrap it up into, oh my gosh, I care about my kids. You don't fucking care about your kids. You don't care about these kids. You don't. Because some of them will have to live their entire childhood not showing anybody their truest selves. And here y'all go. Just happy about that. Happy about that. So yeah, I just think it's funny to watch these straight people complain and whine and shit about a couple of books in the library when LGBTQ people have to deal with an entire society that is like ready to run them over. You know, to the point where, bitch, they don't even want y'all books in the library, girl. You can't even go check that shit out in the fucking free library, girl. But yeah, when you build your entire sense of superiority off of your race or off of your sexuality and the demonization of others, it's like, well, how dare you feel confidence in yourself? How dare, bitch, you thought you was gonna walk up into my library and put your gay books and put your fucking dick in the booty ass books in my fucking library, bitch? In my library? In my society? In my country? Oh, hell fuck no. I feel like that attitude specifically right there is the source of like a lot of America's problems. It's so destructive. It's so destructive. It hurts even them, and half the time they can't even fucking see that shit. But yeah, whatever, the queers are here to stay, so I don't know what to tell you other than get with the fucking program. And it's just like, bitch, y'all need to stop using gay lingo, stop saying Black Lives Matter. 2 queer women started that shit. Stop wearing gay ass fashions. Just stop doing all that shit. Stop doing all that shit. Stop participating in all the fucking pop culture trends that gay people made, that trans people made, drag queens make. Like, just stop. Just stop. Everybody stop. And you know, that's what we should choose. Just stop making shit. Just keep it and see how y'all fare. Let's see how y'all do if we just stop making shit. Shut the fuck up. On that note, thank you so much for watching me ramble and rant. And make sure that you have a good goddamn evening.
Paris, please. Baby, don't you wanna come excite me? Sink your teeth into it, don't tread lightly. I'm dripping wet, you know it's all inside.